All right, guys, I got to come clean. I kind of lied to you. It wasn't on purpose, but I'm going to set the story straight. So stick around to see that. Let's get into it. All right, so I just met with a buddy of mine named Travis. He came over and picked up a couple of Nintendos because he had customers for those. And he had this beauty, this box. It's not a common box for sure. Now, it's a totally empty box, but I could fill it entirely if I wanted to. I may wait and find some other stuff instead of using my own stuff to fill it. But I already have the power pad and the game and the gun and obviously controllers, power cord. But the styrofoam is not super easy to get, but I'm sure I can get it. And then I have the power pad, but the power pad should be in a box. And I don't have the box, but that's a way cool pickup. I don't know. I haven't decided yet what I'm gonna do with that. This is just a neat hat that he had and knew that I could do something with. PlayStation. He had a Kinect game for, that Xbox 360 that I showed you guys on a pickup from the other day. He had some Mario socks that he threw in on the deal because that's awesome. And then this is the tray out of one of two trays in a Wii console. Now I have a Wii U console that is missing the number 2 tray. And so I always hold on to boxes because inevitably stuff shows up. So that's a thing that I've been missing. Travis just happened to have one. Look at this thing. I'm super excited about this. And I can't even tell you exactly why. It just makes me happy. Taco Bell, like, delivery bag. Vintage for sure. Made in the US. And just cool. Just oozing coolness. I'm not sure. We were talking about what Taco Bell Express might be. He said he thought it was attached to a gas station. That's a neat thing. I don't know anything about trying to do comps on that. I'm sure I will figure it out. And then this is a 7-Up cooler, igloo cooler, but you'll notice that it says Cool Tunes. You'll see it has this little import jack for your to put a radio into it. It's business in the front and party in the back. I'm stoked about this thing. I'm nerding out about it. It's cool. It's vintage. I don't have any idea how old it is. I'm gonna have to do some looking, but that's a really fun pickup. And then I was showing off my Power Glove, and then he brought me these that are not anything to do with for sale. These are giant boxes for they're giant box protectors for like this, for like boxes like this, your big Nintendo console boxes. So this is one for an action set, and this is one for the Super Nintendo that I have, and this is one for the Sega Genesis that I have. And so now I have box protectors for those systems, and those are not cheap, but he got them reasonably priced and gave them to me at his cost because he's a cool guy and a supporter of the channel. Thank you, Travis. This glass Pyrex percolator pump, sold for $39.99. I picked up 4 of these for $4 the other day at that estate sale. I'll put up a picture of this. Comes inside of a coffee pot, and so if you see this coffee pot with pieces inside of it, it may be missing something. This piece is actually missing a top strainer like that would go on the top. I'm holding this stuff against it so it's a little easier to tell what you're looking at. So if you see these parts in the glass ware at your thrift stores or at the in the kitchen stuff, It's high dollar. It's in demand, and other people might not be looking for it. All right, and Simba, you guys were with me the other day when I picked this up for $2. Sold for $12.99 free shipping. I knew it wasn't big money, but it's just super neat. I couldn't pass it up for $2. And so if it'll cost me like $4 to ship, and $12, I'll have like $1 in fees. So then I'm $9 into it. So I made like $3 on my $2 investment. It's not big money, but it doesn't take much to do. And I like to own this for a couple of minutes. All right, so I mentioned at the top of the video that I feel like I might have lied to you guys. That was not my intention. I have sold these shoes for $125, but I think that my thumbnail implied that these particular ones had already sold for $125. They did not, but they did sell for a best offer of $100 free shipping. And I just bought them the other day for $7.99 at Goodwill. So you know, these didn't sell for $125. I guess they would sell for $125, and I listed them for $150, and I was expecting to get a best offer, and I got a bunch of $80 offers, and I'm like, they're worth more than that. I probably could have held out to get $125, but $100 is a really good return, and I didn't want to turn that down waiting on another $25 that may have come in 6 weeks. I would just soon take the $100 in my hand. So sorry if I bruised your trust, but it wasn't my intention. I was trying to give you an idea of what could be and not what already was. But Florsheim, Imperial, 5-nail, heel cleat, wingtips, Pebble, all good things. Sold for $100 in like 3 or 4 days. A dial-a-rain. I live in Peoria, and this company, L.R. Nelson, is actually no longer here. They moved to Mexico, but they were here for a long time, and they invented this style of sprinkler. They also invented the kind of tractor that follows the hose, and so there are some L.R. Nelson sprinklers that are very collectible. This one sold, I know that the buyer's all in at $48 and change. I don't remember what of that is shipping and what's not, but these bright yellow vintage sprinklers have a following, and they will sell. I happen to know it because they're in our hometown, but this isn't staying around here. This is going, I think, to New Jersey. And next up on your what solds are these 3 video games. I thought about doing them as a lot, but I decided not to, and they all sold for full asking overnight right away. They have label damage, every single one of them. This one has a big spot. This one has some tape residue and is really faded. And then this one is probably the best of them, but it's just a dirty label. So they don't bring top dollar in that condition, but they will sell for sure. This one sold for $26.99. In mint condition, this would have been $32, $33. This one sold for $11.99, and it would have been maybe $15, $16. And this one sold for $16 even, and it would have probably been close to $20, but the cartridge is ugly. And other things that sold include this Casino Yahtzee. Let me see if I can, I've got it shrunk wrapped. This is what I do when I have board games that I've checked and they are complete. I shrink wrap the crap out of them so that the lids don't get broken and the parts don't fall out. So anyway, Casino Yahtzee, that's a bolo for sure. It's an expensive game. This one sold, I paid $2.99 for it at a thrift store. It sold on eBay for $20 plus shipping, but the buyer was Canadian and told me that the global shipping program cost him $25. Now, I only saw like 8 of that because I only have to ship it to Kentucky. But there are people who are willing to pay $50 for that game, and if you find a buyer in the States, then you can make quite a bit of money on that game. And there's not a lot of it to be incomplete. As long as it has the trays and the dice, I think you're in pretty good shape. And then I sold, look, one of my Beatles boxes got moved over here because that got up there. And I wanted to be able to see it. What's the fun in having a Nintendo that you don't play because it's way up on a shelf if you can't even see it? This is not a vintage Doors shirt. It's like 2011 or something, but it sold for $9.99 plus $4.50 shipping. All right, so I had all but given up hope on these selling. This is another pair of shoes. I'll just put up the thing because obviously they're already in a box. They're in a shoe box. These are Adi Novas by Adidas, and they're kind of like soccer turf shoes. They're not cleats. And I bought them for $1.99 like a year ago. And I thought they were really good at the time. And they just sat and sat and sat and sat and sat. And finally they sold for $15.99 free shipping. All right, and quickly here are 3 more Monster High dolls. Doing a little bit of research, I figured out that these two were sold together as a pack. I couldn't find this exact guy, and I kept looking, and then I realized that he only sold in a 2-pack with her, and so his name is Claude Wolf, and her name is Draculora, and then I don't remember her name, but these two as a pair sold for $21, and had they had some more accessories, she had all kinds of stuff that she was carrying, he had shoes, had they had all their accessories, they're worth probably 35 or 40 bucks, but just like this, and I only paid $1, so my $2 investment's 21 free shipping, and this one sold for $14.99 free shipping. All right, so this is one of those that I thought was Monster High, turned out to be Ever After, Ever After High, and she sold for $18.50 or something. So there you go. This girl covered my cost on almost all of those dolls, and so yeah, that's profit. Watch what I'm going to do to ship her. So I just wrap her in some bubble wrap, and then I've been saving these tubes out of the bubble wrap, and I had a couple around, so that's a really easy way to protect a 12-inch doll. You can, and there's Marvels that this will work with, as well as obviously Barbies and Monster Highs. It's, excuse me, kind of a neat thing. And then I just stick that in a poly mailer and tape a label to it. Quick video about box resizing. This should fit in here, but I don't want to squish it. This is sold for $65, this buyer's all in. So I really don't want to squish it and mess up the label because the label's pretty mint. But the volume is there for this box. So let me show you what we do. I always do it quite this precise, but for this particular exercise, I actually measured 4 inches over because I thought that was pretty close to what I needed. So I measured 4 inches over on this flap and cut just to the edge of the flaps. And then on the other side, I did it on the opposite. I made that line and just cut it on the flaps. Now, when I stand this box up, fold the edges and add them to the sides. Now I have this shape, and I can bring down these edges and bring down these edges all one-handed because I'm skilled. And then my sleeping bag fits perfect. Look at that. Boom, boom. And I'll probably put the short sides underneath, but that's how you resize a box. I'll tell you what, on those floor shimes, USPS couldn't possibly make it much easier to do. You saw I had them already bubble wrapped, and this is I don't remember the call number on this box, but I call it a shoebox. Oh, it just says shoebox. Yeah, so that's a USPS shoebox, makes it super simple to ship shoes. All right, you cool cats and kittens, that's going to be our video for the day. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, as always. Thanks to everybody who has been so active in the comments recently. I greatly appreciate it.